Your favorite plant has a leaf that is drooping and turning yellow. Sometimes, scientists may look at that plant, see the unhealthy leaf, and think, how do we get the leaf back to green? Move it to sunlight? Fertilize it? Spray it with a chemical? Paint it? The problem is, they might be forgetting, root cause of the issue, like watering the whole plant. Now, imagine that same kind of oversight, but with Alzheimer's disease. Much like the roots of a plant, research shows there is a clear connection between poor blood flow and Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's affects millions of people worldwide. One marker of Alzheimer's disease is the abnormal buildup of amyloid and tau proteins that form plaques and tangles that kill brain cells. When Alois Alzheimer discovered the disease that now bears his name, he noted an association between restricted blood flow and the buildup of those plaques. Since then, decades of research has focused primarily on the formation of plaques in the brain, which are markers of disease that can be observed and measured. Researchers found their yellow leaf.
So Alzheimer's disease is what we like to call a multifactorial disease, and that's just fancy language for saying there are many things that lead to Alzheimer's disease, not just one. If we have the opportunity to attack Alzheimer's on multiple levels, we can intervene in that particular disease effectively.
The vascular system is a network of arteries and veins that carry blood throughout the body, including to the brain. These blood vessels deliver oxygen and nutrients that are crucial for brain cells to function properly. They also, critically, transport waste products out of cells and prevent waste from building up in the brain. As we age, decreased blood flow to the brain can lead to buildups of waste. Amyloid plaques can form when the misfolded proteins aren't flushed out with the rest of the garbage.
Alzheimer's disease shows up in the brain in ways we can currently identify, primarily as these amyloid protein plaques, little brown fuzzy things that Dr. Alzheimer's discovered that are outside of the neurons. And they are known to be poisonous to neurons. They kill brain cells. And then inside the brain cells is another protein, tau, that begins to degrade and misfold and kind of destroys the brain cells from the inside out. This interaction is really important because the misfolded proteins and the associated inflammatory processes make chemicals that you need to get out of the brain, right? You need to wash them out somehow. And if you don't have an intact vascular system, that's hard to do. But we don't have quite as good a set of biomarkers for vascular disease as we have for amyloid or tau, which makes it harder to investigate treatments or to tell how effective treatments might be.
Blood flow to the brain can be reduced up to 50% in areas affected by Alzheimer's disease. That restriction of blood flow can be linked to the severity of a person's memory and thinking problems. As the disease progresses to other parts of the brain, people experience problems with thinking and communicating. Even things like swallowing become a challenge as time goes on.
Alzheimer's disease is about 65 to 70% of all forms of dementia. But all of them take away the ability to grow old gracefully and joyfully. And so we have people who develop the memory loss that leads to them walking down the street and never coming home again, and it takes a lot away from families and caregivers and communities. The manifestations of the impact of this disease on human lives is widespread and painful, and boy, the sooner we can intervene on that medical, scientific side, the sooner we can intervene on that social side, which is, if you see patients and you talk to families and caregivers, the impact is enormous. If you can either reverse or prevent the vascular disease from progressing, you're going to help patients out.
By broadening our perspective and considering that restricted blood flow is a key cause of Alzheimer's, we can explore new strategies for protecting the brain from these brutal effects. Taking care of our vascular systems through exercise and healthy diet are important throughout our lives. But we also need to explore treatment options to help promote and even restore healthy blood flow to the brain. It's vital to help patients and their loved ones live better lives.